Well, like they say, two's a charm. This is my second time. I started a video and then I hit something and it just went away. So I don't know what happened. Okay, I am Brad Fairchild. I'll be your professor for Healthy Family Systems. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am super excited. In this class, we will talk about our families a lot. I want you to really begin to prayerfully open your mind to ask the Lord to show you things in your family that you've never seen before, and I almost guarantee you will. If you work at it, if you work the assignments, if you do the work, you will. And for some of you, that is horrifying, and I get that. You're like, I don't want to see. Well, if you're going to minister to people, you're going to work with people, you need to know yourself and to know where you came from, and it will help you in terms of overcoming issues and understanding yourself better and understanding your family better. This is a very, 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 very powerful class, a very personal class. And I'll share some stories along the way, and some examples out of my own family in terms of how what we see and what we don't see and why. It's really interesting. Like my brother said something to me one time, and I was like, "What?" And I was mad, and he was right. I'm like, "Doggone it." So there'll be those moments, and I'll probably share that story with y'all at some point later on. A little bit about myself, not just to talk about me, but I want you to have a sense of who it is you're dealing with and who I am. First and foremost, am a Christian. I love the Lord. My wife and I currently go to Gateway Church, and I teach here at the King's University. I have taught for about 9 years now. I started in '09 teaching at um, Southwestern Assemblies of God in Waxahachie, Texas. Some of you may have heard of that, some of you not. Small school. I am currently working on my PhD at Regent University. Let me introduce you to my family real quickly. This is my, I gotta do this first. Aha. This is my lovely wife and myself. Yay. Her name is Annie, and she is a CPA. This is a funny picture to me because these two guys are no more. So sorry about you guys, but this is my oldest daughter. She is pregnant, and her due date was yesterday. Oh my. So I am looking for a call any minute. This is her husband, Trevor. They've been married for about 3 years. This is the next one down. This is Deborah Jo. Deborah Jo graduated from college and is working on becoming a CPA, like her mom. My wife is a CPA, owns her own company. This is the next one. This is Sarah, or Sarah Marie, we call her sometimes. She is transitioning from Samford University to Texas A&M. She's at Blend right now, which is you go to Blend to get your classes that they require, and then you get into A&M if you do well. So we're expecting her to be going to A&M. She's actually at College Station right now. We just took them last week. This is Laura Beth. Laura Beth is also going to A&M. She is a runner, and you'll hear me talking about her probably. She was quite the stud in high school. It was very exciting to watch her run. This is more accurate in that there's no boyfriends that are no longer. So there's my daughter that's fixing to have a baby, and that is us actually on a cruise. Oh, and Gramps. I forgot to tell you about Gramps. Sorry. Gramps is my dad. He is 90 years old and he has lived with us for about 10 years. And so we take care of Gramps, and it's a very beautiful thing. He has Alzheimer's, and boy, do we have some stories from time to time. Let me tell you. All right, so I am going to try to keep my uh, face out of the way, but we're going to go through the syllabus. It's really weird online because it's like, anybody have any questions? Raise your hand. Speak loud. I can't hear you. I know. It's just, yeah, oh well. Um, but if you do have questions, guys, seriously, I have my phone numbers right here. And sometimes people are like, well, don't you have any boundaries? Yeah, I have boundaries. I don't answer the phone, or I text you back when I can get to you, usually pretty quickly. But the absolute fastest way to get an answer from me is to call me or text me. You certainly can email me. Here's my email address. I will respond. But right now, with this baby thing going on, once I go to the hospital, for at least for a couple of days, I'll probably be out of it. It's going to be all about that baby and my daughter and her husband and my lovely wife who's oohing and ahhing over this baby. So, but text me. I can. I mean, I'll have a moment here, there, and yonder, a break, and I'll get with you. So if you have questions, call. So here is. I'm not going to read the syllabus to you. Everybody say, thank you. Here are your two textbooks in the. I just made some modifications to this. So if you already have the syllabus and you're looking at this going, this is different from what I had, I'm going to post this right as soon as I finish this video. I'm going to post this. There are just a few changes. Okay, so there's going to be two process papers. They're described in this first section here. You have what you're going to be doing is analyzing your family. And you want to use some of the concepts that you're learning from the textbook, particularly Bowen, Family Systems Theory, which you will know very well. If you've taken theories classes, you've already you've dipped your toe in the waters of systems in general. It's a cool thing and very powerful concept. So if not, that's okay. I mean, you just will. You'll dive in and you'll get it. So I want you to talk about your family and some of the dynamics and some of the relationships and who was close to who, and were there alliances? Yes, there were alliances, but who were the alliances made with? And this is a really funny thing. Let me just stop and say this, because people are like, oh, well, I'm equally close with all my family members. No, you're not. You're just blind. Just no, you're not. Sorry, it's just not. That's just not the way it is. We don't play favorites. There's no favorites. Well, okay, good. In a perfect world, however, there are it might be mom and dad against the kids. It might be one of the kids and mom against the dad. It might be all the kids and mom against the dad. It might be all the kids and dad against mom. Occasionally, and I don't mean always, and I don't mean that it's this big, bad, ugly, horrible thing. That's one of the things you guys are going to have to get used to. Some of the stuff that we're going to have to talk about and look at and face is ugly, and we don't like to do that. We don't want to do that. It is human nature to avoid pain. So I get that. I understand that, but I would say rise above and do well. Now, guys, listen to me. I'm really, really serious about, in terms of your grade, about you digging deep. Okay, so I'm not looking for, la-di-da-di-da, I had a wonderful family and we grew up in Pennsylvania and it was cold and we built snowmans together and everything was lovely. I am not, I mean, I will send it back to you and say this is a fairy tale. I don't know where you got it from, but no. So, and I'm sorry, I sound kind of tough, but I'm just telling you, there is this tendency in some people to kind of do that. Well, we've turned it all over to the Lord. It's all fine now. Well, okay, maybe, but for the purposes of this class, you're going to have to dig some of that back up and look at it. And if this is very, very upsetting to you, then probably you're the one that needs to hear this the most and has the biggest problem and needs to face some stuff. When I get angry at my wife, I have this little thing, right? So the angrier I get, the more right she is. So chew on that for a little bit. Okay, so I don't mean to be combative. I'm sorry. I just am like, but that is a soapbox. It's a big deal to me. Very important that you're open and honest and deep, that you think deeply and dig deeply. So talk about feelings, thoughts, processes, dynamics. How do you think, maybe y'all did make improvements. How did you make improvements? How do you think, or what do you think some of these things are that you could do to make improvements? I don't know if I said that right, but you know what I'm trying to say, hopefully. Because the question, family of origin or current family? Yes. Both, either or. I'm kind of leaning towards I'd really like for you to put some energy into your family of origin. But whatever. Okay, so this is two papers, one grade. They're both worth 200. I mean, I'll grade each one individually, but they are both worth 250 points, 125 points apiece. And the second one will, you're going to analyze your level of differentiation. Some of you may not even know what we mean by differentiation. Read the textbook, Google. It is that the differentiation in family systems is really interesting because we talk about how intertwined we are and how much we impact one another, and yet we are still an individual within that system. So it's not this complete and total loss of yourself in this group called family, but it is an understanding of who I am and who you are and how we work together and how we fit together. So you're going to look at that. Um, are you comfortable with the level of differentiation that you have? You could be 30 years old and your mom and dad are trying to uh, make decisions for you that you think you should be making for yourself. So that would be a differentiation problem. For example, culturally, I understand that some cultures are much more um, connected to their family than other cultures. So what may be inappropriate for one culture may be appropriate for another culture. So I'm asking you to, based on your understanding of yourself and your family and your individual family culture, as well as the culture that you are collectively larger a part of, to evaluate your level of differentiation. Are you comfortable with where it's at? If not, what would you do to improve it? Okay, so we're gonna have Blackboard. There is a really consistent rhythm with Blackboard, and it's real simple. Blackboard will be posted sometime on Monday, maybe Sunday, Saturday, Sunday. This is the first time I've taught this class. I'm gonna be 1 week ahead of you. So if you're looking to get, 3, 4, 5 weeks ahead, probably not happening in this class. Sorry. So you're going to open up your discussion board Monday. You're going to do an initial response post. That's going to be done by Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. every week. Your response post, that's your response post. Then I'm sorry, that's your initial post. Whew. Then your first response is Wednesday night, and then your response to your peers and or to your professor are due by Sunday evening. And I really want 2 of those. I put post or posts. I'm not going to split hairs over that. Okay, genogram. Some of you know what a genogram is. Some of you have no idea what a genogram is. I am not going to get super hardcore technical on. For example, are all of the hang on a second. Sorry, I'm trying to motor around in here. I'm a little clumsy. Are all of these symbols correct? Right, so I'm not going to get super crazy with you on that. All right, here is here you go. There's your genogram symbol. So the textbook is helpful with this as well, and you can certainly Google. I hope you guys throughout your education experience, I hope you are using Google and YouTube. YouTube, Google, and I are getting a PhD. Let me just tell you, it is amazingly powerful. So use your Google, look at different genograms. I'm not asking for it to be all, red and blue and pink, all. I'm not asking you to get crazy, right? The best way to do this is on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and then you are going to scan it into your computer. If you don't have the capability of doing that, get somewhere that does and find it and figure it out. Go to a printer store somewhere and say, hey, I need $1 or $2 or whatever. You can scan it, and then you're going to turn it into Blackboard. So this is to go back to your grandparents, I believe. Y'all get the idea. I'm going to box out of that, close out of that, and go back to what? This. Yeah, there I am. Okay. So, you know what? No, there I'm not. That's not what I want. This is what I want. Here we go. All right, so you're going to do your genogram. You're going to write a paper about your genogram. Let me just tell you some of the things you're looking for. I have a great-grandfather, and I know this says go back to your first set of grandparents, but I have a great-grandfather who literally took off and went in search of gold in the gold rush in California in the 1800s. and he was never heard from before. What does that tell you? That tells you that somewhere deep in my bones is this tendency to be wild and explore and want to just go and sometimes be restless, because this man abandoned everything and left and never was found. So it's fascinating, and I see that in myself. I literally see that in myself. Um, my father smoked, my grandfather smoked and chewed tobacco. I have dealt with tobacco. Those are the kinds of things I'm talking about that you will find in your family. This is the whole sins of your father is passed down from generation to generation. So this can be incredibly, incredibly eye-opening. So you are going to lay this out best of your ability, just like the graphs that I showed you. You're going to do a lot of reflecting, right? You want to look at this family of yours, and you want to, short of requiring it, right? How can I enforce that, right? But I'm telling you, you need to talk to people. You need to talk to parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles. You need to, tell me about grandpa, tell me about grandma on mom's side, dad's side, whatever, right? So you need to dig and probe, ask your parents questions, ask your siblings questions. Not only will you learn things that you didn't know before, but you'll get a perspective on things that you already knew, but you didn't have that exact same perspective on it. All right, I think that's relatively self-explanatory from that point on. Your final would be essay, short answer, essays. It's a short answer, essay, same thing in my mind, whatever. Sorry, I hope that doesn't throw anybody. When you turn stuff in, make sure you put your name and your what assignment it is on there. So this is it, guys, right here. This is the whole class. You're going to have the two process papers. You're going to participate in Blackboard. You're going to do your genogram, and then you're going to do the final. All that equals 1,000 points. Perfect score. There's your grades. Here is the week. Now, if I were you, I would print out pages 4 and 5 right here. 4. Yeah. Okay, that didn't work. Tried to highlight it. I would print out 4 and 5, and I would tape this to the wall. And this is something that you need to be able to keep an eye on. This first week, all I want you to do is your discussion board, number 1, which is literally just introduce yourself. Very simple, straightforward introduction. Then you're going to start reading in your chapters. I did make a few minor changes on this, corrections, fixes, little changes. Here's more detail on your discussion board guidelines too, by the way. So if you already have a copy of this, you need to go back in and look at it. I haven't replaced it yet, but as soon as I finish this video, before you see it, before it'll even be processed in there, I will have up the new syllabus. So that's it. God bless. Hope everybody enjoys this class. I am super excited about it, and I will see you on the web. Thanks. Bye-bye.